Super cash tonight. I just got home from Connecticut. Man, there's like mosquitoes out the wazoo these days. You getting this mosquito bites? Yeah. I'm what do you call it? Compartmentalizing. And it's actually really helpful. What happened today at work and like yesterday at work. But it's all good. Tonight we're talking about patience, and I have some Bible verses. And I was kind of thinking about how, like, every person has their problem, and this probably isn't going to be, like, that long of a video, but, I'm, like, really, I want to get some work done today, though, because, yeah, okay, so, like, when you're feeling down, and, like, you know, SHITs hit the fan, or something's come across your day that's, like, pretty overwhelming, think about how you can actually, so, like, say, like, something negative happens, and it, like, kind of robs you of your resources or blessings. Think about how you can, instead of, like, succumbing to, like, oh, the enemy's just trying to bring me down, or, I guess the enemy's plans are working, or, you kind of, like, giving up, instead of, like, doing any of those things, and giving up can look different for different people. Giving up could be a relapse for somebody. Giving up could be, God forbid, someone taking their own life. God forbid. Giving up could be not deciding to put the effort in to a goal that you know that you want to achieve. And sometimes when we're feeling like not our highest vibrations, it's usually for a good reason. Like, just being a person in this world is hard. Representing yourself, articulating your feelings and needs and concerns in a way that's respectable. A lot of people can't even do that. So being a person in and of itself is hard. And it's amazing at all if we can get through life and do all right. Because I was thinking about it too, and it's like, America in modern day time puts a lot of emphasis on the quality of life, like, more so, like, puts a lot of emphasis on happiness. And, like, I think I was reading an article, like, maybe a year ago or so, and it was saying basically, like, we're not really, like, meant to be happy. We're, like, meant to just, like, kind of, like, survive. And, like, modern days, like, created different ways to create that happiness. And, that could be, like, materialism or a certain income bracket, or satisfying your desires through materialism, etc. But we're really doing just great, actually, if we're surviving and finding little pockets of happiness. But I was kind of thinking about it, and we're not meant to be, like, happy all the time. And I think if we just let that idea go, we'll be a lot happier. Isn't that funny? So when things come across your path in life and you feel like it's robbing you of your blessings or of your good energy or of your highest vibrations, try and identify and then like disengage with that, whatever that is, like that thought or that state of mind, or even like toxic people or something like that, and try to instead see how the situation could be folded or turned or switched about. And then I just had like a really good meal. It was really good. And I just got like home. What time is it? I don't know. I think it's like 1 a.m., like 1:15 or something. Oh, it's 1:20. And think about how you can like turn your day around, or the next day, like, or the next opportunity, and how it can be switched. So for example, tonight I spent, more money than I wanted to, but it was definitely like half the paycheck that I made. And I'm not complaining. I'm glad I was able to report the sexual harassment, but it was really nice to buy myself dinner in Connecticut. I've never done that before. And the owner of the bar saw me doing art, and he is interested in, I showed him some of my work, and he's interested. And so it was like, yeah, I spent $50 on dinner, but I had like some really freaking good bourbon and salad and some bread. And sometimes just like that little treat, like it was like, yeah, it was like $50. I was like, yeah, that's like, and then it took like $20 total or $30 total to get the taxi to the precinct. But at least I documented what was going on, because a lot of the times sexual harassment doesn't even like get documented. Man, mosquito bites really just kind of. So like, yeah, I spent like, and then it was like a train ticket just to get back into New York. So that was like totaling like 100 or so ish, around there. And it's just like, it's gig work, so you get paid for the 2 days that you work. It's not like, so being an actor, and that's why there's a strike right now, it's because like we're just barely getting by. But I'm pleased with how things are. In terms of like, I have shelter and I have a warm bed, and I just took a hot shower, and I just watched some funny, some of my favorite comedy, and I have a platform where I can inspire others and be a leader and use the struggles I go through every day and turn it into a powerful message that is also referencing Bible verses. And so we have Philippians 4:6. Don't be anxious about anything. Rather, bring up all of your requests to God in your prayers and petitions, along with giving thanks. Philippians 4:6. I said that already. So it was a blessing, because like now I potentially have like a new client to do art, and like it's always a skill to practice advertising your skills and representing like yourself, in terms of like, he was the owner of the bar, and he was straight up asking. We didn't get to rates. We didn't discuss that, because he was like, oh, like, please, bon appetit, enjoy your meal. Like, but we were like talking about it, and like he has like a vision for like one of the bathrooms. And it was kind of nice to have dinner by myself in Connecticut and whatnot. I do get extremely uncomfortable with the attention I get. I realize I stand out because of, I don't know, whatever. But it's something I've decided to accept at this point, and just treat everybody with kindness. And I can be friendly, but I don't need to be accessible. And I realized today that there must have been something I was doing with that guy or whatever, in my mannerisms or etc., that made him think I was interested. So I don't need to be rude. I don't need to turn into a bitter, grumpy, jaded woman, because I still can reflect God's love, but not be accessible, but be like professional and courteous, and like a little bit friendly, like a smile and like a wave, like that's like the minimum. But I'm realizing it was actually a pretty funny conversation. I was talking with my coworker today, and I was like, I actually just had a realization. And she's like, what's that? And I was like, I guess I just kind of realized that I'm like hot. She started cracking up. Because like in my mind, I sort of always feel like I've been a tomboy and hang out with the boys and just whatever or something. And like, I didn't realize that like right off the bat, men have like insane attraction for me the way that maybe like when I see like a really beautiful woman, I go like, whoa. Like I didn't realize that like, I didn't see myself the way that like the world might see me, which is like, how can I hit that? I think that's what like a lot of men like think as soon as they see me or something, like because it's like hot chick or something like, and I like I'm like uncomfortable to even say like I'm a hot chick, but like I didn't realize that with my combination of being very friendly mixed with the way I look, it was just a honey trap setting me up to be. So I have to realize, yeah. So I learned my lesson, and I'm only getting like more and more like professional and mature as I mature, and figure out how to network in these background acting gigs, and because everyone just gets casted for like 2 days, and then, but I mean, some of them are the same people too, so they kind of keep some of the same people for the cast if they like your look or they like, you know, like your energy while you're there and stuff, they'll ask you back. And so like I even went to go get like Kennedy fried chicken and stuff tonight, and I was waiting, and the first guy that was in there, I was like, it's cold, and then he was like, yeah, it's cold, and he's like, where do you live? And I said, don't worry about it. And then he like grumbled and got mad and like stormed out of the restaurant, and I was like, and then another guy came in, and then something asked me for my number, and it's like, I'm just realizing that the world sees me as something to like constantly like penetrate. I mean, and that sounds like so grotesque, but it's true. And so I can't be so friendly. I can still be kind and have the holy fruits. What is it? The Holy Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit. And I have them written down here. We're going to get to that verse in a second. Because then I'm just setting myself up to be like so vulnerable and like, yeah, the other guy was like, where are you from? And I just kind of like waved my hand. Like you don't, that's the other thing too, is like, you don't have to answer people's questions. And you don't have to volunteer information. And I'm just realizing that like, I'm the boss. So I reveal how much information I want, and I answer questions I want, and I don't answer questions I don't want. And I'm not subjected to your energy, and you can't dominate how I feel, and I will not be a slave to your manipulation and your gaslighting, like whoever it is or whatever. And other people's, you know, kind of like, what do you call it? Projecting onto, like, I'm realizing, I guess this past 2 days taught me quite a bit, because like one of the other girls was telling me, you won't get at what you want out of life unless you say so, like speak up for yourself. And I thought that was really true. And so I'm realizing now that I can't be so accessible and volunteer so much information. I have to dial it back a little bit, and I can be friendly but not accessible. And so that's like what I've learned from like this modeling gig and stuff. And I love that I am outgoing and like have like that tenderness and like kindness, but that doesn't mean that I have to, like, it doesn't mean I have to turn jaded or bitter, and I'm not going to be mean to men because one guy, like, really turned me, like, rubbed me the wrong way, and just was, like, really, just really on my, always there, like, felt like it was breathing down my neck the past 2 days. And I said, please stop talking to me. And even then, he just continued to, like, ask me questions and following me. And he enjoyed the fear he saw that he was putting in me. So it makes sense, you know. He doesn't have enough power in his life over what he wants. So a lot of the times, if men see an attractive woman who's alone, it's just a turn on, because it's a moment where they can try and shoot their shot. And I've realized that I'm just too friendly, and it's not like a problem. There's nothing wrong with me because of that. It's just an interaction in the world that I'm gonna dial back, because I see that men take a hint of kindness as flirtatious. So that doesn't mean I need to be rude or anything anymore, but what I want to hone in on is, like, always emanating the fruit of the Spirit. So, like, we have Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The police officer I talked to tonight really damaged my mental really badly. Going to the precinct was emotionally and mentally the hardest, because they didn't care. They just take notes and, okay, what time was this? And they're very logical, but they don't have compassion. That's not their job. That's not compassion. And he was victim blaming me. He was like, well, maybe you were being too flirtatious. And, you know, I was like, okay, I think I'm done here. And he's like, I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. If I was like, and it just, like, amazes me that, like, people open their mouths, like, before thinking, you know. There's nothing wrong with my outgoingness, my friendliness, my joy. It's just that there's really a lot of, like, bad, wicked people in the world who are going to exploit that. So I'm not gonna change, like, my happy, joyous ways. I'm just gonna be less accessible, a little bit more aloof. I remember Googling when I first got here, like, to New York, how to be more aloof, because I'm so outgoing that it's just problematic. But it was funny. I was ordering food, and, like, 3 men, like, asked me if I live in the area, and that's their way of saying, she's cute, and maybe we can fuck sometime. And it's just incredible. Like, I was in there for, like, 10 minutes or less, and so it's just not a safe place for women in the world. It's if you're a woman and you're watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, no one knows what it's like to be a woman until you're a woman. And our experience is that constantly being alive is constantly not being safe. And I can't wait till I get married and I just spend, like, 365 days in my kitchen and or in my living room, and my only job is to maintain the household and nurture babies, because women are just so vulnerable out in the street, and we're just not meant to be out there, and it's not good for our mental. I just can't wait for the day where my only job is to take care of a household and be a woman that's like in the kitchen, because I'm so ready for that. There comes a point where women are so attractive, it's dangerous. It's just like, and I'm not even trying to like gas myself up. I'm just saying like facts. And I didn't think of myself as like that until the day I was like, oh, okay, like. And I had the realization, my friend was like, yeah, you are. And she was laughing though. She's like, you're funny. She's like, what did you think you were? I was like, oh, she didn't ask that. But like, I don't know. Like, I always just honestly always thought that I never saw myself like that or whatever. And so I'm just really, really, really seeing how, and then I went at the bar, and then I could feel two men staring at me the whole time, and it was so uncomfortable. And then after I finished my dinner and ate my dinner and like paid my bill, whatever, I walked over and I was like, hey, I could feel you staring at me like the whole time. And then they were like, oh yeah, like he and I were discussing how not many women can pull off your haircut, but you like really do it. And I was like, yeah, I crush it. And then he was like, we were saying how you look like Demi Moore in G.I. Jane. And I kind of wanted to say, like, the reason I'm leaving is because I felt so uncomfortable because I could feel you guys staring at me. But the reason I was leaving is because I had to go report sexual harassment. So I was, like, being sexually harassed with, like, those stares while I was eating dinner. And I could feel their energy. And I was like, I could sense something. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever. But they were like, how was your food? And like they were like, I was like, it was good. And I was like, okay, no problem. It looked like G.I. Jane. All right. Well, I could sense something was going on. So I just, all right. Have a good night. Thank you. Like, it was like, I was like, yeah, the food was good. And the T treated me really well because the guy's name was T and he owns the place. And it was this bar in Connecticut. And I just stopped in to go to the bathroom real quick and like take a breather. And it's just, I think I'm gonna stop responding to people because literally, like, everybody talks to me and looks at me and stares at me. And I just get too much attention. So I can't wait to just be in a kitchen for, like, 365 days and order all my groceries on Amazon and heal a little bit because it's just, I actually don't want attention. I have never really enjoyed it. There was this backpack I used to carry around that was a backwoods backpack. And I got so many compliments on it, I stopped wearing it around. And then there was these one high heels that I used to wear, and I got so many compliments on it that I stopped wearing it. So I really don't actually like attention.